Wings. My God, what a dynamic concept. They are at the heart of basketball's most inherent aesthetic appeal. Long and powerful enough to climb the highest mountains, fast and agile enough to navigate its most perplexing obstacles. They are the cat-like predatory species in the sport, and in peak form, they are thwarted by no one. Over the decades, they've wowed us. They've galvanized us into a mesmerized monoculture where we all dreamed of floating and fading in a similar way. The highlight huffers are well aware, but Anicet Dybantsa, better known as AJ, the willowy, evasive and explosive wing originally from Brockton, Massachusetts, who only turned 17 years old in January of 2024, could very well be the next notable entry in that species of player. But the highlights aren't enough, fools. Sometimes you've got to lean in and...
Look at the tape!
Dybantsa just finished his junior season at Prolific Prep, a prospect assembly line in Northern California, after winning Gatorade Player of the Year in Massachusetts as a freshman. During the summers, he's played in the EYBL for Expressions Elite as a sophomore and the Oakland Soldiers as a junior. And he'll finish his high school career at Utah Prep before, according to him, he plays a single year of college and then heads to the league for the 2026 NBA Draft. AJ, whose dad was born in the Congo and raised in France, and whose mom is Jamaican, is a visibly confident person. He moves on the court with a lot of purpose. He's always going and usually on both ends of the floor. Watching him play and listening to him talk, he very much strikes me as a no days off, no plays off type of kid. He works with and without the ball in his hands. He rarely misses an opportunity to sprint, and he burns a lot of calories in areas where the glory is less obvious. Dybantsa's blend of body type and skill set are a big part of what has both the dorks and the casual observers excited. The only official measurements that we have for AJ at this point are from the 2024 Nike Hoop Summit, where he was listed at 6'9" with a 6'11" wingspan, not mind-blowing but not bad at all, and 9.5 by 9.5 inch hands. Some online detective work leads us to believe that his general size was confirmed by 2 photos from workouts, one where he is clearly taller than Paul George, and another where he's a notch below Kevin Durant, whose measurements are a lot like Frank Ocean's recording schedule. Completely mysterious, but probably awesome. Purely in terms of traditional measurements, he's in that cluster of players that includes current guys like Precious Achiuwa, Trey Murphy, or Jalen Johnson. In other words, big forwards who can really move, but AJ's physical profile and tools stir up memories of wings that are a touch shorter and some of the better perimeter scores that we've ever had. In December of 2023, I got to see Dybantsa just down the street from my house. That pixelated cluster of red and black is me sitting up close. God, I am looking healthy here. Vintage ESPN jacket that I found in Sweden.
Personal comment is not necessary.
Anyway, seeing Dybantsa at eye level, I'll admit that I was pretty stupefied by how gracefully and fluidly AJ moved while handling the ball, especially considering his size and physical maturity. As of August of 2023, Dybantsa claimed that he is a wing who's transitioning towards handler status.
You know, right now I'm like a wing. I play like a 3, but I'm trying to be a combo. I'm trying to be a 2. I'm trying to come off ball screen. I think I have good enough IQ for it, so elevate my game to that guard level.
His combination of overall elasticity with the ball, both laterally and when exploding downhill, and playing with physicality are wildly impressive for a guy his size, and have him well on his way toward achieving that goal. In the past, I've talked about dual citizenship. Players who have the skill set and flexibility to shrink in order to protect their polished handle against smaller defenders, and then extend and sustain contact once they've reached a spot on the floor where they might score or make a play. This is a template that can produce superstars, and Dybantsa is already showcasing these traits at 17 years old. In the half court, the detail in AJ's footwork is apparent, visible in his ability to smoothly shuttle to the left or to the right, particularly in ball screens. His handle can wobble a bit in terms of control at times, but he has a lot of the separation tools that you look for. Head and shoulder fakes, hesitation in and out moves to sell his shot, deceleration. These traits, combined with his scoring, are the type of thing that will set him up to be an elite pick-and-roll player by the time he hits his prime. Basketball, like orthodontics, is a game of gaps. Create them, attack them, close them. It's the real estate war within the sport. From a standstill, there is no direct driving line here, but watch the way AJ angles his lower legs and propels himself to the left off of his right foot, now extended but still low and wide with the ball, so that the marginal contact from this screen becomes enough for him to turn the corner. Similar stuff here. Dybantsa is probing for a gap to attack, but because the screen defender is soft showing, he smoothly shuttles to the right to make sure that he gets the switch and then instantly shifts into a different mode. The defender here is 6'5", and look at how much lower the much taller AJ gets his head, hips, and knees with the ball as he goes by and gets into the paint. He's also very bouncy. Dybantsa attacks the rim like it sent his girlfriend a DM. He attacks the rim like it's been secretly using his Netflix login and screwing up his algorithm. All of these tools set him up to be an effective 3-level scorer, and boy, oh boy, does he deliver on that opportunity. AJ is electric in transition, both with his speed taking the ball off the rim and trying to score himself, but also as a spacer. I'm just gonna call a shot here. I expect Dybantsa to be one of, if not the best transition player in the world within the next 5 or so years. To my eyes, Dybantsa is more of a shot maker than a pure shooter at this point. He's usually elevating a lot beyond the line, even on catch and shoots. His motion dips just a touch at the top of his release, and his elbow has a bit of an angle to it, although he does still seem to maintain a nice arc a lot of the time. I've also noticed that AJ seems to get more effective the more he streamlines his energy transfer and moves with the energy of a pass. All that said, he is not someone that you can neglect or dare to fire. He will burn you from 3. As a self-creator, Dybantsa finds his own offense in every which way, and in general, I think his touch is impressive across the board. Odd leaners in traffic with contact, one-dribble pull-ups that are a staple of scoring wings, wide-stepping jaunts to the rim with high-glass finishes, movement shooting off the catch. At some point, you take a step back and you ask yourself, where are the real weaknesses? When players score this effectively, so long as it isn't one-noted bullying that ages poorly, naturally, we don't want them to stop. We just want them to be aware of the anxiety that their scoring causes and how that can be exploited. Jason Tatum has been battling this challenge for several years now. Kevin Durant started to figure this out around his 23rd birthday. Same could be said for Paul George. AJ is a bucket getter, so when we imagine his future beyond that, we're looking for glimpses of mentality and indicators of skill set. On the former, he shows that the spirit is very willing.
I'm a playmaker first, get my teammates involved, but I can do a little bit of everything. I can score. I take pride in defense. A little bit of everything.
I'll say I'm a playmaker first, but I think I can do a little bit of everything. I think I can score. I think I can play defense. I think I can rebound, pass. I think I'm just like an all-around threat.
On the latter, the flesh is still catching up, but working to get there. From a stationary position, AJ really shows some passing feel. He recognizes this roll and replace with sharpshooter Winters Grady and spots Aiden Sherrill at the rim wide open. Or this play where he ball fakes the low man toward the three-point line to free up Cam Boozer, more on him coming soon, for a wide open dunk. Or this post look, a frontier for him once he gets stronger, where he whips the ball to the opposite corner for a wide open look from 3. With a live dribble, it can be a bit dicier. Dybantsa does settle for tougher dribble pull-ups at times and does love to try and sell foul calls. He loves this baseline dump-off pass and makes it often, but when facing clusters of defenders, AJ very frequently thinks that he can seal the deal himself, and while he's often correct, and we love the aggressiveness, this can lead to either turnovers and or missed opportunities. I take the optimistic view here. When the competition levels up, he's shown that he's capable of hunting a switch, luring extra help, and then making the right pass, as he did here against Link Academy, or here on this closeout attack where he hits the corner in stride, or here on this middle pick and roll where he finds the lifting shooter. You can almost watch the two aspects of his game coming together in real time. He gets limbo low with his dribble here, and the first man left is sitting in the gap to stop him, which brings the low man up to cover both Caleb Holt and Tyron Stokes, who rules. Shout out to my guy from Louisville. Stokes smartly backcuts here, and this pass is probably available right here, but this extra dribble makes the exchange clunky. In the NBA, this gap is going to close quicker. Defensively, Dybantsa certainly has the momentary mental lapses that all young players do, but his activity and his motor are fantastic. Being big goes a long way. Sure, it's just that AJ is a real prick on that end of the floor, constantly using that pliable and lengthy frame to harass at the point of attack. Although he does get up for the occasional block, this is where most of his disruption takes place, at ground level. And no matter the competition, he brings that same energy. At the high school level, you'll frequently see star players rest a bit on defense because of how much they're dependent on to score and create, but that is not the case with AJ at all. He is constantly hounding the ball, regardless of who is bringing it up, and his hands are lightning quick. True high-level two-way players are hard to come by, but there is a world where, by his mid-20s, Dybantsa becomes an offensive primary and someone who also takes on tough assignments and has 1-4 switchability, possibly even all defense. That outcome is, obviously, an all-NBA type of player. His strength and detail will need to continue to improve, but it could happen. The 2025 and 2026 NBA drafts have the potential to usher some franchise-altering talent into the league, which is a deep inhale of fresh air after what we've seen recently. And AJ is a mouthful of Ricolas in that sense. The teams that are positioning themselves to pick near the top of these drafts could be setting themselves up for an entertaining future. The cake has to bake. Things have to come to fruition, but I think Dybantsa is that type of worker, that type of talent, and that type of prize. Let me know if you agree.